Fun fact, the MLB All-Star Game started in 1933. Fact, from 1959 to 1962, there were 2 All-Star Games a year. Fact, Boof Bonser never made an All-Star team. But we're not going to talk about him in today's video. Instead, what we're going to be doing is talking about the 10 best players that never made an All-Star team. Now, like I said, the All-Star Game originated in 1933, so I'm only taking players whose careers started after that season, because technically Rogers Hornsby never made an All-Star Game, and there's a lot of guys who played before that who were in the Hall of Fame who didn't play in an All-Star Game either. I'm only going to be worrying about players that debuted after 1933. As always with these videos, if you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to support the channel. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. The support has been amazing. Keep it up as we try to get to 100K. Remember to get in the comment section down below. Let me know if there's someone I left off this list. Do you think there's a player that didn't make an All-Star Game in their career that deserves to be on here? Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And of course, if you guys want to save $20 off baseball tickets, make sure to go to SeatGeek.com or download the app and use the code Giraffe at checkout to save yourself $20 off your first purchase. So the first player we're going to talk about on this list is Hal Trotsky. For those of you who aren't familiar with baseball from the 1930s to 40s, you might be going, who is Hal Trotsky? Well, let me tell you a little bit about this guy. Hal Trotsky only played 11 seasons in Major League Baseball, but a lot of these seasons were pretty impressive. From 1934 to 1940, he only had 1 season with less than 25 home runs in it, and that was 1938 where he had 19. He drove in 100 RBIs 6 times in the season, including leading it in 1936 with 162. He had multiple seasons with 30 home runs or more, 1 season where he hit 42, averaged almost 35 doubles a year along with 7 or 8 triples. He finished with a career average at 302, 371 on base, 522 slugging, and 892 OPS, 1,561 hits, 331 doubles, 58 triples, 228 home runs, and 1,012 RBIs. Most people don't know the name Hal Trotsky because he was trumped by guys like Lou Gehrig, but he had a pretty incredible career in the late 30s. Definitely deserved to be on an All-Star team. The next player we're talking about is Tim Salmon of the Angels. Salmon played from 92 until 2006, spanning 14 years in his career, and he had a very impressive career, winning the Rookie of the Year in 1993. He finished in the top 10 in MVP voting twice, top 15 3 times. He had 5 seasons where he hit 30 home runs or more, and was approaching 100 RBIs almost every single year. He finished his career with a 282 average, 385 on base, 498 slugging, to give him an OPS at 884 for his career. 1,674 hits, 339 doubles, 299 home runs, and 1,016 RBIs as well. Tim Salmon was a really good player in the late 90s, early 2000s. The next player that missed out on an All-Star appearance in his career was Eric Karros. Similar to Tim Salmon, Eric Karros won a Rookie of the Year award in his career in 1992. He also had 5 seasons of hitting 30 or more home runs, 5 seasons of 100 RBIs or more, and in the other seasons, he had really good numbers as well. In his 14-year career, Eric Karros hit 268 with a 325 on base, 454 slugging, to give him an OPS at 779. But when you look at his numbers during the late 90s, you start to question how he didn't make an All-Star team, including the year where he finished 5th in MVP voting in 1995. During those late 90s, he was pretty much locked in for 30 homers, 30 doubles, 100 RBIs, and an OPS in the 800s. Eric Karros was a pretty solid player, just got blacked out by better players like Mark McGwire and such. This next player won the MVP one year, but didn't make the All-Star team. We're talking about Kirk Gibson. Now, Kirk Gibson could have been one of the great all-time players had it not been for injuries that riddled his career, but while he was healthy, he made quite the impact on the field. Now, Gibson played 17 years in Major League Baseball, but only 8 seasons did he appear in more than 100 games, so you can understand his injury problems. His prime went from 1984 to 1988, where he averaged over 25 home runs a year, close to 90 RBIs. He was good for 20 plus doubles a year as well, and he would steal 30 bases almost every season. Gibson's career average would finish at 268 with a 352 on base, 463 slugging, to give him an OPS at 815. He had 1,553 hits, 260 doubles, 54 triples, 255 home runs, and 870 RBIs, along with 284 stolen bases. On to our first pitcher of the video. I'm talking about the left-handed pitcher, 1988 World Series champion, John Tudor. Tudor played from 79 until 90, playing for the Red Sox, Pirates, Cardinals, and Dodgers, and he actually had a really solid career. He finished 2nd in the Cy Young voting in 1985, as well as 8th in the MVP, and he didn't make the All-Star team that year, which, let's be honest, that was definitely his best season. That year, he had a 1.93 ERA, he went 21-8, 10 complete game shutouts, a whip under 1 at .938. Sounds like a pretty dominant pitcher to me. The start of Tudor's career was definitely a bit shaky, but after the 1984 season, he never had an ERA above 3.84. In the 5 years he was with the Cardinals, he had a 2.52 ERA, with the Dodgers a 2.57, and the Pirates a 3.27. So it's really only the Boston ERA at 3.96 that keeps his career ERA above 3, because in his 12 years of pitching, he went 117 and 72 with a 3.12 ERA, 50 complete games, 16 for shutouts. He pitched just under 1,800 innings, struck out 988 batters while walking 475, and a career whip at 1.198. The next player I'm talking about is Tony Phillips, who appeared from 1982 to 1999 with teams like the A's, Tigers, Angels, White Sox, Blue Jays, and Mets. If Tony Phillips was playing in baseball right now, he'd probably have a lot more appreciation because while he didn't hit for big power, he would get on base a lot. Tony Phillips led the league in walks 2 separate years in 1993 and 1996, and he could play a variety of different positions, including every outfield position, second and third base. In his 18-year career, Tony Phillips finished with 2,023 hits, 360 doubles, 50 triples, 160 home runs, 818 RBIs, and 177 stolen bases. He also had 1,319 walks. His batting average was .266 with an on-base at .374, slugging at .389, and an OPS at .763. He didn't hit for power, but as a leadoff guy at the top of the order, he got on base and got the job done. He was a pretty solid player. This next player was a DH and first baseman for the Cleveland Indians in the 2000s. We're talking about Travis Hafner. Hafner played from 2002 until 2013, playing with the Rangers briefly and then the Indians and Yankees. But the span we want to highlight is from 2004 until 2007, where Travis Hafner was one of the best hitters in all of baseball. He finished as high as 5th in the MVP voting in 2005, and then in 2006 finished 8th. He led the league in slugging and OPS in 2006. From 2004 to 2006, Hafner averaged a batting average above 300, on base above 400, slugging approaching 600, and an OPS above 1,000. In that same span, he also hit 127 of his 213 career home runs. In his 12-year career, Hafner finished with a .273 average, .376 on base, .498 slugging to give him an OPS at .874. He had just over 1,100 hits with 250 doubles, 213 home runs, and 731 RBIs. After the 2007 season, Hafner didn't play nearly as much due to injuries and just getting older, but during the prime of his career, he definitely should have made an all-star team. Another player from the early 2000s who never made an all-star team but was really good was Eric Chavez of the A's. Now, Chavez started in '98 and played until 2004, going with the A's, Yankees, and Diamondbacks, but let's be honest, we all know him as an A's player. From the year 2000 to 2006, Eric Chavez was one of the top third basemen in all of baseball. He won 6 Gold Gloves as well as 1 Silver Slugger during that time. He led the league in walks in 2004, and he averaged right around 30 home runs every season with around 100 RBIs. In the 17-year career for Chavez, he finished with 1,477 hits, 318 doubles, 260 homers, 902 RBIs. He hit .268 with a .342 on base, .475 slugging, and an .818 OPS. Chavez could swing the bat. He was a great fielder, but he had the issue of playing in the same time as some of the absolute all-time greats. And for that reason, he didn't make all-star teams. Another guy that played in the 2000s and again was snubbed from all-star games was Pat Burrell of the Phillies. And trust me, as a Met fan, I know how good Pat Burrell was, because he destroyed us. Burrell played from 2000 to 2011 with the Phillies, Rays, and Giants. His 162 game average was 29 homers, 30 doubles, 2 triples, and 96 RBIs. That's pretty productive. He finished as high as 7th in the MVP voting in 2005, and when you look at some of the years he didn't make the all-star team, you wonder how. 2002, he had 37 homers, 39 doubles, 2 triples, and 116 RBIs with a 920 OPS. 2005, 32, 27, 1 triple, 117, and an 892 OPS. In his 12-year career, he finished with just under 1,400 hits, 299 doubles, 292 home runs, 976 RBIs. He hit .253 with a .361 on base, .472 slugging, and an .834 OPS. As much as I disliked watching Pat the Bat play because he destroyed the Mets, it's pretty shocking to me he never made an all-star team. He was pretty good. And the last and final player going to talk about in this video is going to be Tom Candiotti, who was a right-handed knuckleballer. Candiotti pitched from 1983 until 1989 with the Brewers, Indians, Blue Jays, Dodgers, A's, and back to the Indians. Candiotti was never the ace of a staff or never the best pitcher in baseball, but he did have a few seasons that he should have at least made the all-star team or gotten consideration. The year I immediately look at is 1991, where he had a 13-13 record, but a 2.65 ERA and a 1.15 whip. And if you look at his first half numbers with the Indians, a 2.24 ERA with a 1.07 whip for a knuckleballer, that's unheard of. Definitely deserves to be on the all-star team. He finished his career with a 151 and 164 record and a 3.37 ERA, along with a 1.30 whip, but he pitched just over 2,700 innings, striking out 1,700 batters and only walking 883, which again for a knuckleballer is extremely effective. So yes, while Tom Candiotti was never a Cy Young candidate, or he was never the best pitcher in baseball, he still should have been rewarded for the years where he was acting like an all-star. And then I would consider these players as honorable mentions. I didn't want to put current players on this official 10 list because they still have their careers ahead of them. Felt like it wouldn't be right to put them there, but here are their names. We've got Andrelton Simmons of the Los Angeles Angels, whose hitting's really come around, and of course we know him as one of the best defensive shortstops in MLB history. If this guy played in a different era, he would definitely be making all-star teams left and right. It's just shortstop stack now. We have Chris Davis of the Oakland A's, who just continues to dominate at the plate, crushing home runs like it's his job because, well, it is his job. And he'll also hit 247 every year like he does because he's an alien and not from this planet. On the pitching side, we got guys like James Paxton of the Yankees, but the one that sticks out to me is Kyle Hendricks of the Cubs, who's casually been one of the most consistent pitchers the last couple seasons. It's incredible he still hasn't made an all-star team with the numbers that he puts up. I know his pitching style isn't extremely fun to watch, but he deserves to get some recognition. And I mean, we put Sonny Gray on the team over him. How does he keep getting snubbed? So those are the 10 best players in Major League Baseball that never made an all-star team. Well, at least least in my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Was there anyone I left off? And he could have been on this list, but I didn't want to put any current players because they're still playing. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, this is the place to be. Make sure to hit that sub button. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And that's going to wrap up today's video. YouTube recommends you watch this one right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you all for watching, for the amazing support recently. We're on the way to 100K. Let's keep on chugging. Adios. Bye.